Welcome back everyone, Mariah Monetize here, and in today's video we are going to be going over an update from Vault, directly from Vault. We're also going to be looking at the price of Bitcoin, which has just dropped quite a bit actually in the last hour or so here, and then just talking about some other random things in the cryptocurrency space and some headlines that I've come across when it comes to Celsius. So an email today from Vault telling us that they have basically filed for a moratorium in the Singapore courts according to Section 64. Okay, so what does a moratorium mean? Basically, a moratorium gives us time so we can prepare a way forward that would benefit you as a creditor. A moratorium is granted for 30 days and it could actually be extended for a longer period of time. I want to clearly state that this filing does not mean that we are winding up or shutting down the company. Instead, we're asking for time to formalize our restructuring strategy so that we can resume operations and give you the best financial outcome. Best financial outcome, in my opinion, makes me believe that we will probably not get 100% back of anything that we had on Vault. Full disclosure, I had about $1,400 on Vault. What's been really getting on my nerves, they keep on sending me emails about my referral commission being received. Same thing with Celsius, actually. I don't know if I got an email from Celsius today, but Celsius was continuing to basically send us emails that we are getting our rewards, which it's like, turn off the rewards, turn off the referrals. Can we just turn off you sending us emails? We are tired of being reminded that you're giving us money that we might not actually get back. Why did DeFi Payments file for a moratorium? So DeFi Payments is basically PT Ltd. So that's kind of, I believe their company name, what they're registered as. We have a mismatch of assets and liabilities of DeFi Payments, where the main contributing factors to the gap have been mark-to-market losses on BTC, ETH, and Matic trades and exposure to UST. So UST clearly was an unfavorable situation for them. We also have a mismatch of tenure, where we have committed a significant portion of our AUM towards loans with a tenure of another 3 to 11 months that can't be recalled early. On a group level, Vault has assets worth $330 million and liabilities worth $400 million at this time. Obviously not very good, but you know what? I appreciate the transparency, because unlike Celsius, we're not getting transparency nearly as much when it comes to those numbers. So what does the restructuring mean for us? We have always strived to be a company that gives you the most value. Keeping that in mind, we're exploring multiple ways forward to deliver on that promise. Our top priority is to complete the due diligence process with Nexo. So we saw Nexo offer to buy Vault. I called bullshit, but it seems like there's actually a little bit more to it. After what I've read behind the scenes of what's happening at Nexo and their I would say their lack of ethics, I really am not all too excited about this particular situation. We've seen concerns around what our alternative options are in case the Nexo acquisition does not happen. We want to address this head on. It kind of sounds like they are dependent on the Nexo situation. While we're very optimistic about joining forces with Nexo, on the off chance that we can't make it work, our plan will include a combination of, sounds like they are heavily leaning on the Nexo situation, raising more venture capital, exploring alternatives to a complete acquisition, wait for some of our deployed capital to be returned, possibility of converting debt to equity, issuing our own token, developing a payment plan tied to future revenue. At the end of this day, to me, this is just screaming, this will take years and years to figure out, unfortunately. Our highest priority is developing a solid repayment plan for Vault creditors. We are committed to being upfront with you about everything coming our way, and we'll be sharing frequent updates in the weeks ahead. So, an okay update, I guess, but still a lot to come there. Celsius website still says it's being updated. And when I did a quick search here when it comes to Celsius, the Celsius repayment schedule keeps sales recovery on track. Celsius lost $350 million of clients' funds from a high-risk leveraged trading. That was a report there. Troubled crypto lender Celsius hires new restructuring lawyers. Something really positive here. Celsius looks sloppy in new lawsuit, but so does the DeFi legend suing it. So just not a ton, a positive news or whatever surrounding Celsius. It's been kind of like exhausting to be reading into, like, I'm not going to read any of these articles because At the end of the day, trying to figure out all the possible scenarios is really exhausting, and it's completely out of my control. Whatever's going to happen with Celsius is going to happen with Celsius. So for me, like for my own sanity, I just kind of read the headlines and then try to continue with my day because it can get a little bit exhausting. Interesting here, I saw this posted on July 8th. Berkshire Hathaway stands to lose $6 billion from unsecured loans it made to embattled crypto hedge fund Three Arrows Capital in documents revealed by Bloomberg. Pretty wild there. So let's go ahead and check out the price of Bitcoin here. This right here is a weekly chart on Bitcoin, which isn't really giving us much. Bitcoin is just looking, in my opinion, overwhelmingly weak. We saw the screen crossing over the red on the daily, but it looks like it is crossing back down. We did make a higher high on the daily chart, but we really need Bitcoin to hold the low of this candle, which is about 18.5. So we're going to be keeping a close eye there. Let's go and take a look here at the 12-hour chart on Bitcoin. It did make a higher high, a bit of a pullback here. So keeping a close eye here to this low, which 18.5 is a very interesting level that if Bitcoin breaks below that, I would anticipate more room to the downside. 4-hour chart here looking pretty weak, but we might be able to see a jump here off of this candle. Bitcoin currently sitting at $20,113. 1-hour chart looking incredibly weak as we have this red 2 trading below the red 1, and Bitcoin has just made a lower low on the hourly chart. This right here is a 30-minute chart on Bitcoin, which is also looking very weak, making a lower low. Let's see if we have any maybe strength here on the 5-minute. No, we have basically seen Bitcoin drop pretty significantly over the last hour or so, actually. So from, let's see, from the price point, it was sitting around 12.4 all day, dropped about 1.62%. Ethereum has dropped more significantly. Bitcoin down about 3.6 on the day. Ethereum down about 5.35. And Ethereum sitting at just above $1,100. Let's take a look at Ethereum here. Daily chart, this red 2 trading below this red 1. Not the best, but similar across the board. Everything kind of just trending here in the same direction. We have gold sitting at 1733. Gold 1733. BNB sitting at 226. Coinbase sitting at 53.88. There was a point in time where I was kind of excited to buy Coinbase at some point. I do not feel the same anymore. I was hoping to get it at a really good price, but I'm not sure I really feel the same about Coinbase. DOT sitting at $6.62. Link sitting at $6.13. We have XTZ sitting at $1.60. I haven't looked at the sell coin in a while, actually. So let's take a look at the sell token at the 4-hour. This right here was July 9th. It got just above $1, has come down significantly since then. And just before that, it got down to 64 cents. So a lot of volatility here on the sell token. A lot less camaraderie and positive sentiment about the Celsius short squeeze. To be honest with you, I haven't really seen anything on that in Twitter in the last few days. It's been a very quiet situation when it comes to that. I think people are just losing the fight. I mean, they're seeing Celsius being extremely poor communicators. I mean, when was the last time Celsius tweeted anything? The communication has been horrendous. By now, we should have definitely heard a lot more, but it's a whole lot of nothing. This was June 12th, the 30th, so it's been almost 2 weeks since we've heard from them. Oh, that is unbelievable. It's terrible. It's really, really bad. Marijuana stocks were also down quite significantly today across the board. I was quite shocked to see, Charlotte's Web sitting at 59 cents. Wow. Pretty darn low there. And Tilray sitting at $3.15. So yeah, marijuana stocks got absolutely crushed today. So what's coming out on Wednesday? We have the CPI numbers, right? Yeah, CPI on Wednesday. So inflation numbers are going to be coming out, which is interesting to see what's going to happen. So basically it's, everything that happened in the month of June being reported in July. I know gas has come down a significant amount. So I saw a peak of $1.35 a liter here in Puerto Rico. I saw $1.11 a liter. So that's been a significant drop in the price of gas. I'm going to be curious what the other numbers look like. But what we can say is that Bitcoin typically doesn't respond all that well to the CPI report. So let's look at like a 4-hour chart on Bitcoin when it comes to the CPI. So these big blue arrows right here, that is where the CPI report comes in on this day over here. So, I mean, you can kind of see here, there was a little bit of maybe a rise into the day and then a significant drop the next day and days following. I mean, that was kind of the beginning of Bitcoin was like kind of holding here in this range, and then it literally fell off of a cliff. I believe that was the 9th when it was reported last. Let's go ahead and back up. Before then, we saw Bitcoin fall significantly leading into the CPI numbers, and then it obviously continuously fell after that. An additional, about 20 to 23%. That is pretty intense there. Let's actually just quickly go back to the one before that. I'm still anticipating a Bitcoin bottom to come in earliest. Earliest, I think it's going to be maybe like September. So this is around the last CPI numbers, kind of weakness going into it, and then ranging shortly after that before a bigger drop down the road. And that was when Bitcoin was sitting in like the $40,000 range. So kind of just what I'm seeing there. Let's kind of just take a look here at the 4-hour chart. So yeah, some weakness. We're seeing weakness into the CPI number, or so then are we going to see it followed by more weakness, or will Bitcoin respond positively? I guess we shall see tomorrow, but that is all that I have for you today on this video. I'm anticipating a Bitcoin bottom to happen in September, October. That's currently what I'm planning for. I'm looking and excited to hopefully buy a ton of Bitcoin when it drops significantly. I am ready to go. Absolutely nothing has changed fundamentally. So I encourage you to have multiple exchanges ready to go. I'll have a link down below for Gemini. Gemini is one of my favorite exchanges that I use. So that is all that I have for you today. As always, go out there and create a portfolio that you love.